Hello and welcome to this parent information session on the oral language area of grammar. My name is Bronte Doubleman and I'm a member of the speech pathology team at Peel Language Development School, and I'll be going through this information with you today. I would like to start with an acknowledgement of country. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land, where Noongar people performed age-old ceremonies of storytelling, music, dance and celebration, and where they cared for the lands and the waterways. We acknowledge and pay respect to the elders, past and present, and acknowledge those of the future, for they hold the memories, traditions and hopes for all Aboriginal Australians. Always was, always will be. This short video will provide information on what grammar is, and I will discuss some ideas to support your child's grammar development. I'll also provide a handout that summarises some important strategies to use when teaching grammar. Grammar refers to a set of rules that includes our syntax, the way we organise and order our words to create sentences and communicate, as well as our morphology, which is looking at the parts of words. So for example, using tense, if we're talking in present tense, we say jumping, or if we're talking in past tense, it would be jumped. Plurals is another one, so if there's one apple, we say apple. If there's more than one apple, we would say apples, for example. Learning to use correct grammar is important because it allows us to have our messages clearly understood, and this can lead to less frustration and making communication more enjoyable. As children get older, grammar becomes important as they learn to also communicate in the written form. There are so many rules in the English language, and it can be confusing and challenging understanding these, especially in individuals with a developmental language disorder. Your child's developmental language profile includes goals for their grammar development. The goals highlighted in yellow are the goals they are currently working on. It's likely your child will have one or more pronoun goals on their DLP, and a pronoun is a word used to refer to someone or something, such as I, me, he, she, his or her. You may find your younger child may refer to everyone as he or his, or they may say me want that instead of I want that. So it's our job to teach them the correct pronoun to use. Another common goal that may be set for your child is about learning to include what we call auxiliaries or helper verbs. So these are those little words like am, is and are, or have, has and had. And often students with language difficulties will leave these little words out of their sentences or not use them consistently. It's likely that your child will also have a goal related to tense. So for the younger students, they often start learning to add the ing to the end of their verbs to signify present tense. So that's running, jumping, singing. Then they'll often move on to adding the ed for past tense. So jumped, climbed and cooked, for example. Older students may have goals such as irregular past tense verbs, and these are a bit trickier. So learning the past tense forms of verbs such as run would be ran, break would be broke, take would be took. Some children also have a goal set for plurals, so adding this to the end of the word when there's more than one. And then later on with our older students, learning those irregular plurals as well. So mouse, when there's more than one mouse, it's mice, or man is men. Another important aspect of grammar is learning how to link our sentences together, and your child may have a goal set for joining words, and we usually start with and then, which helps when describing a series of events, and then we move on to more complex joining words such as because, so, but, if and until, making our sentences more complex. One of the best things that you can do at home to support your child's grammatical development is engage in conversations with them throughout the day, in play and everyday tasks. When we're looking at recasting, the idea is that you model the correct grammar back to them in a natural way while trying to keep the flow of conversation going. So for example, during a conversation, your child may say, him come back his home, and you could say something like, he went back to his home. What happened when he went home? And then the conversation can continue. Try not to repeat the error back to your child, as this will reinforce the error. Instead, say the correct form back to them multiple times, giving them opportunities to hear the grammatically correct sentence. Explicit teaching. So there are natural opportunities throughout the day you can teach your child a grammatical rule. For example, if your child has an irregular plural goal, when they're brushing their teeth, you can point to one tooth and say, did you know that when we are talking about only one tooth, we say tooth? And when there's more than one tooth, we say teeth. How many teeth do you have? Wow, you do have lots of teeth. So it's just comparing those two words together, and that's a great opportunity to teach that rule. Reading storybooks with your child helps to model correct grammar use. So these can be simple picture books for younger children or more complex, even chapter books for older children to model more complex sentence structures. When we're looking at extension and expansion of sentences, you can do this through play, conversations, or book shares. For example, if a child said, the boy got down, the adult could say, the boy got down from the high branch. So by expanding on their sentences, you're helping them to learn how to use more descriptive language and more complex sentences. And finally, if your older child has started writing sentences, then you can work with them to edit their work and encourage those self-corrections. This handout provides a bit of a summary on the strategies I've spoken about to support your child's grammar development. I'll upload a copy of this under the video link if you would like a copy. That brings us to the end. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions regarding the content of this video, please contact your child's classroom teacher or a member of the speech pathology team at Peel Language Development School. Thank you.